The story that I'm going to tell you today is the banana story, and it is a classic now in my family. And it takes place in the late 1970s when my sister Amy and I were teenagers, and we had jobs at a local farm stand. Now, just to place where we were at the time, it was really difficult for teenagers to get jobs at that time. And these jobs were really important to us because we were saving money to go to college. So we were working at this farm stand, and the guy who owned the farm stand we referred to as Smiling Bob. Only Smiling Bob wasn't really all that happy. This was a mask that he put on for his customers. Anyway, every day in the late afternoon, Smiling Bob took a nap, and he got cranky if you disturbed him. So it was about 4:30 in the afternoon, and it was near closing time, and a delivery truck pulls up, and it was a delivery truck filled with bananas. And the vendor asked us how many bananas we wanted. Well, we didn't know. We'd never ordered bananas before. So Amy asked him, she said to him, well, how many bananas does a farm stand this size usually order? And he told her 200 pounds of bananas. So we signed off on the bananas, brought them in, stocked them on the shelves, and at this point, it's closing time, 5 o'clock, so we end up on our way. We head home for the day, thinking nothing of it. Well, the next morning, we show up at the farm stand, and who's waiting for us but Smiling Bob? Only Smiling Bob is livid, just livid, and he says to us, what were you girls thinking ordering 200 pounds of bananas? How are we going to sell all of these bananas? Anyway, he was so angry at us. He said, if you don't sell these bananas, I am going to fire you. And not only am I going to fire you, I am going to dock your paychecks for any of the bananas that are not sold. He goes storming off, leaving us just panicked and a wreck. And then it took us a few moments, but we finally got it together. And Amy was like, look, we got to come up with a plan to sell these bananas. And so she said, thinking back to the Girl Scout model of when we were Girl Scouts, we're gonna use that as our plan to sell these bananas. So we figured that Amy could man the farm stand. I called my mother, explained to her what happened, that our jobs were on the line, but said to her that Amy and I think, we're hoping we can figure out a way around this. So my mom comes, picks me up, drives me back home, where I enlist the help of my other sister. And she and I start going door to door in the neighborhood, explaining what's happened to us to our neighbors and asking them, please, would you buy some bananas? And we start taking orders for bananas. And most of the neighbors ordered about a pound of bananas. And as the orders started coming in, I had my mother drive me back. I would gather up the bananas, give Amy the money, gather up the bananas, take them back home, deliver them, but also go out and place more orders. In the meanwhile, Amy called our aunt, who was a beautician, and basically told her what happened and got her on board that she would start selling the bananas to the clients at her shop that day. So throughout the day, we were driving up, taking bananas out. We also called our friends to tell their mothers. So we had other people driving into the farm stand buying bananas. And next door to the farm stand was a nursery. And Amy told it was a teenager who worked the nursery as well. And Amy got that girl on board, and all of her customers, she told her customers, the girl next door, she's going to lose her job. Could you please go buy some bananas? And so there was a stream of people coming into the farm stand, and the pile of bananas started to diminish, go lower and lower. Meanwhile, Smiling Bob had a very sweet brother named Allie. And throughout the day, Allie, would stop by the farm stand, and he noticed the activity, and he basically, sort of with a twinkle in his eye, said, bananas seem to be very popular today. Anyway, by the end of the day, there was not a single banana left in the farm stand. They were gone. We did not see Bob, though, that day. Anyway, sigh of relief. We kept our jobs. We kept our paychecks. The next morning we came back, we saw Smiling Bob, only Smiling Bob said nothing. Not a word was said. That was it. So we knew we were in the clear. It was not mentioned again. Well, the following week, the banana delivery guy comes again, only this time Bob places the order, and he asks the guy for another 200 pounds of bananas. Only this time, the bananas just stayed on the shelf, and in fact, a good portion of them just rotted. And Allie, taking note once again while we were there, basically said to us, bananas don't seem to be as popular this week.